I think I'm wrong in this one, but it's just something I can't stop thinking about. Is this idea that this next gen platform, I can't believe that it's not going to be on the Cybertruck platform. Why would they create the Cybertruck? Create a, go through the completely new manufacturing process, and then abandon it for yet a fourth platform that's going to be similar to cars. When you stop, I just interviewed Ryan Levinson. Ryan Levinson famously has 52 Cybertrucks on order.
That's
52. And the reason he did, and as I asked him why, is because he has a fleet management business where he has 12 Teslas and other EVs that he rents out on Turo. So he's already today, for many years, renting out these cars on Turo. And he said that he has experience. He knows this inside out. He lives it day to day. He said, the reason I started buying these Cybertrucks is because they are the perfect car to rent out. And I'm like, what? Doesn't make sense. It's a truck. No, because it's stainless steel. You're not going to be worried about scuffs and scratches. He listed out several features about it, but that's the one I keep coming back to. It's like, you just can't, you can't just damage a thing, and it's safe. So I just, remember that video that we just saw where they showed the Cybertruck screaming along and just before the wall, and then they stopped it? Well, that's a teaser, of course, and they're going to show us later what happens. And I think you tweeted out, "Can't wait for that! I can't wait to see that video. What happens?"
I told Elon, I said, you made us wait this long for the Cybertruck, and you reward us with this, you bastard.
Right. It's like they just. Well, why did they do that? Because they're going to show you that this is going to be the safest friggin' car in the world. And then they showed that engineer who broke down exactly how they do crumple zones and so forth. The Cybertruck is steel, so the damn thing is indestructible. So wouldn't you create the next gen platform if it's going to become a robotaxi to be so safe that people are willing to let a robot drive it? Because in case that there is an accident, it's safer than anything that's out there. It's indestructible. I'm going to be safe inside. You know what I mean? That's the part. I know it's wrong. A lot of people have told me, no, it's not going to happen. Stainless steel, they might invent a new material. That's a possibility. But it just strikes me as weird that they have built this whole new platform for Cybertruck, reinvented, and not going to use it. So I think it's going to be a Cybertruck kind of based modular kind of car, and it's not going to look like a normal car, and might have a steering wheel, but it won't look like a normal car.
Yeah, I mean, the way I think about Cybertruck, so you say you're surprised that Tesla would abandon this process and then go into a brand new one. It's fascinating to hear you say that, because when I think about Tesla, the reason why they're so good is because they're masters at abandoning ideas. That's why they've been able. Seriously, that's what innovation means, right? That's what innovation is. You are leaving behind what you thought was the best thing, and now you're going to the next thing. Now that doesn't mean that Cybertruck won't have merits as with its own platform, the exoskeleton and the stainless steel and all that stuff. I still very much believe that the way the car is built is going to be best in class for that purpose, which is going to be just being a badass thing that's going to be able to carry a bunch of crap, and you're going to look like a freaking badass in there. Or some people might think you look like a douchebag. It doesn't really matter. I think I'm going to look like super cool, so that's why I got one. But it's tailored for the use case. But there might be things that Tesla borrows from the Cybertruck for the compact car, but to say that the Cybertruck is somehow the greatest way of building a transportation unit when they unveiled this in 2019 and now we're in 2023, knowing how the company evolves over time, I think that's silly. I think the core principle of Tesla is they're masters of abandoning ideas, and that's why they are who they are. It might be stainless steel. Who knows? The compact car, the robotaxi might be stainless steel. But one thing will be for sure is that it's going to be the most cost-effective way of building a transportation unit that is going to be maximized for volume. It's going to have world-class battery systems. It's going to have world-class drivetrain. It's going to have world-class safety, and it's going to have the Tesla brand prestige. And I don't really care how it's built, because I know that the way it's built is going to be the best way to build that thing at that time. And yeah.
And the other thing was, so we were. I think a lot of things you said, I think, is right, and I'm going to lean towards that. Like when they
Tell it to my
showed
wife next
these,
time.
I will. I'll tell her. I always
Thank
do.
you.
But then after talking to her, I go, yeah, you're way better than this. So I agree with you.
I agree there.
Just takes seconds for me to figure that out. But the silhouettes over these next gen cars, they look like normal cars,
Sure.
right? So I don't know if that's like a trying to throw you off the scent.
No.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think the van that they had on the wraps, or that van looking thing above the Cybertruck in the Investor Day, the Investor Day slide, I think that thing is going to be much closer to the robotaxi form factor than anything else Tesla has built. Because think about it. When you're thinking about, again, transportation unit, I think car is a weird term for a self-driving car. Robotaxi, transportation unit, whatever you want to call it. If what I said was correct, which is Tesla would be best suited to just be a creator of shells of things where people can decide how to fit it so that it fits the use case that the market demands to exist for them to do, for take advantage of and purchase and whatever, or rent, then you would think a form factor closer to a van makes way more sense, because under that scenario, if you think about the cost per mile of a van versus a compact car, when they're an electric vehicle and you don't need a driver, and the cost of energy is continually going down significantly over year, the cost per mile over the life of that van versus the compact car is super, like the difference is nothing, absolutely nothing, right? Energy and electricity, we're going to generate it with solar panels, wind, whatever. We're going to store them in batteries, and the long-term cost of that energy is going to be basically nothing. And the only difference in cost between the van and the compact car would be how much material you use to build that thing. The van might be, or whatever, the bigger form factor is $40,000. The smaller form factor is $20,000. Cool. Spread $20,000 over 1,000,000 miles, right? And I don't know, $500,000 to $1,000,000 of revenue on that thing. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. And so you would obviously optimize for the thing that's going to allow you to bring as many customers as humanly possible and utilize that form factor. And you'll be able to do a lot more in a van versus a compact car. A compact car, you can only have two people really in there that are comfortable. In a van, you can have 10. You can have a party in there. So that's where I think we're going. I think we're going towards and Sandy Monroe has talked about this in depth before. Like, just make the box and then just kind of let it go around. And a city situation makes a lot of sense. But I think this is going to scale up to the whole world. It's going to be rooms on wheels, man. I might start a self-driving robotaxi company called Room on Wheels, and I'm gonna be a provider of robotaxi solutions, where I'll purchase my shell from Tesla, and I'll make these things sweet internally, and they'll all have bathtubs, and they'll come with a bottle of champagne, and you can watch your favorite show, and I don't know, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, you're gonna have Farzad's YouTube channel running 24/7 inside.
Well, I mean, so you know where my head goes, right? I mean, the reason why I started doing podcasts in my car, like while it drives itself, is because I think over time, and if somebody takes this idea, like, I encourage everybody to explore this. I think having a podcast in a self-driving car while you're driving around beautiful scenery in the United States or around the world, and you have this stuff rigged up where you can kind of have an engaging sort of conversation while you're driving around these beautiful hills and the countryside and the mountains and the valleys around the world. Like, how is that not the coolest thing ever? And the inside of the car is just a podcast room. It's like no different than doing a podcast in an RV while you have cameras rigged to the outside of the RV. But this time, the no one's driving the thing. It's 100% safe, and it costs almost nothing to run, and it's optimized as a podcast room, because that's the solution for the robotaxi, right? Like, why shouldn't that exist?
You can call it UPod or UCar, and then you're a creator.
Sure.
And it's got like, you're a creator, like cameras and
sure. But like then scale this up to any use case, right? This is how I think, and I could be 100% wrong, and I would love for people to tell me if I'm thinking about this incorrectly. I think the regulations will catch up to this market for it to exist, because there's the opportunities are absolutely endless there, and it's just almost going to become a new way of life for a lot of humans. They're going to be able to just be in these things, going around and exploring the. We're going to go back to our roots before the agricultural revolution of, you know, freaking settling down on a place because it's going to grow wheat. We're going to go back to our nomadic roots of just roaming the lands, and this incredibly cheap, like literal almost free transportation unit is going to allow us to do that over time.
A little bit different than what Elon has adamantly said about his refusal for work from home. You're talking about work from a car, but then after saying that, it could be like the car taking you to work. But
Yeah, and I
yeah.
think the concept of work will change in the future, right? I think when Elon says the whole work from home
Mhm.
thing, I think it's more like in the context of a manufacturing environment, where the
Mhm.
engineers are working from home and the people working the lines, you
Mhm.
know, bashing their heads against the wall trying to fix a problem, and the engineer isn't there to actually see it with his own two eyes or her own two eyes. And from that perspective, working from home is awful. Like, it
Mhm.
doesn't work. You have to be there to solve those problems. So from that standpoint, I get it. But I work from home, right?
Mhm.
Technically, I work from home. There's many professions out there that people work from home. So I think it has to be contextualized. It's important to contextualize. When Elon said that, I really believe it's within job functions where it's required to do that job in person, and any support functions that will allow those people to actually have a good experience doing their work, they should also be there. They shouldn't be away, right? And yeah.